It was a rainy afternoon. I was going into Walmart to go and grab something real quick and to come out, and there were two people standing outside of the exit, and they were passing out pamphlets to anyone who would take them. I took the pamphlet. I don't get bothered by persons out there of different religions, whether they're Muslims or air quote Christians out there doing what they believe that they're doing. But once I accepted the pamphlet, they wanted to talk, so apparently they weren't getting a whole lot of bites on what they were doing out there. So, and this was an older couple. They were probably in their mid 50s, lovely couple. And the gentleman asked me if I believed in God. I said, oh yes, of course. I worship the one God. He says, well, you worship Jesus then? I says, no. I had to be very careful here because I believe in being respectful. I said, no, I believe that Jesus is God. He says, you don't believe that Jesus is God? I says, no, I believe that the Father is God. And I said, well, can I ask you a question? And he said, yes. I says, where is it written that Jesus is God? He said, oh, that's the easy one. I can show you if you have time. I said, yeah. I said, could you please show me? So he opened up his Bible. He had a very old King James version, and he went to John 1:1, and I sort of expected that. So I just let him run with it, being a respectful listener. And he read John 1:1, and he, was pointing it to me. He had his fingers across the verse, saying, you see here says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. I said, but does that say that Jesus is God? He said, well, yes, the Word is Jesus. I said, yes, I agree with that. I said, but I've always had an issue with John 1:1. He says, oh, well, could you explain? I says, yeah, sure. I says, well, I see there that it does indeed say that in the beginning was the Word and the Word was with God. I says, but it says that the Word was with someone, with God. And he's looking at it and he's going, yes, as if to think that, okay, where is this guy going with this? And he says, but what about this part here? The Word was God. I says, well, yeah, it does say that. But is that correct? He said, well, it's right here in the Bible. You can see it for yourself. I said, you are aware that what we know as the New Testament, many call it the Greek Scriptures, from Matthew to Revelation, was written in the Greek language. He said, yes, we know this. I said, but are you aware that those two instances of God there are two different words? He says, what? I said, yeah. I said, I'm not saying that you have to believe me. I said, but just go check this out for yourself, just so you'll know. But if you look at John 1:1 in the Greek, the first part, the first instance of God, there's an indefinite article in front of it, and he didn't know what an indefinite article was because he said, well, what's that? I says, well, the. So if you read this in the Greek, it would say, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the God. And the second instance of God here at John 1:1 doesn't have the indefinite article in front of it. So it's not going to say, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the God, and the Word was the God. That second instance of God wouldn't say that because there's no indefinite article there. And if you look at the Greek, the two words for God are different. And he's frowning, and his wife, I think she wanted to leave. I think she wanted to leave because I think she, at that moment, knew that I knew something about the Bible. And he says, well, so how would you translate that? I says, well, it would be properly translated as in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the God, implying what? One God. And the Word was a God, or a divine one, a lesser a God. And he was really frowning then. And his wife, she actually walked away. And I said, well, if you go to 2 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 4, it makes reference to the God of this world. And he said, yeah, Satan the devil. He says he knows that scripture. I said, well, the word God there in the Greek is the very same Greek word you see in the second instance of God there, John 1:1. And I didn't see his wife anymore. She might have went into the car because it is sort of cold out here. So I'm not going to assume that she got away because she didn't want to be involved in the discussion. And it is coming down out here. And I asked him if I could ask him a few more questions because I needed to go too. He says, sure. He says, sure. I said, well, where is it written anywhere where Jesus himself said that he is God? I said, can you show me that? He said, well, yeah, I'm sure somewhere in the Bible Jesus says he's God. I says, but can you show me? He said, well, not at this moment. I don't. He says he doesn't memorize all the scriptures, so I don't either. And I asked him, what does Jesus say of himself? What does his closest companions, his apostles, who do they say he is? And ultimately, who does his God and Father say he is? Is it written anywhere in the Bible, whether it's the King James Version or any other version, where is it written that Jesus says that he's God, his apostles say that he is God, that his own Father, the one who sent him, says he is God? He says, well, you know the Bible. I said, well, I know Christ's teachings. Now I make a separation there. And he says, well, you make some very valid points, and I'll take those into consideration. He was very respectful, and that sort of surprised me because a lot of people that I talk to, when you approach them in that manner, that they become defensive. And I've had some who even become rude, and they make you the subject rather than the subject being discussed. And but I got the impression that he really was going to go home and look at John 1:1 very carefully. I didn't expect him to, he might even take it even further and see if he can find anything written down where Jesus says that he's God, his apostles say that he's God, that God himself says that he's God. And he's not going to find that, but hopefully he will go through that exercise. But all he had was John 1:1. I didn't have the heart to take him down to John 1:18. Because the idea here is not to blow people out of the water, but it's to get them to think and to reason on their own. So I enjoyed the conversation, and that was one of the few that I really enjoyed because it didn't carry on for a very long time, maybe 10, 15 minutes at that, and it was over with. In fact, I can see them. Well, I can see him. He's wearing a hat. I think that's him. I'm sort of far away from the entrance. Yeah, that's him. And but he's out here in this rain doing what he feels that he needs to do, so I applaud that. So there you have it, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Take care.